Friends, imagine this: a successful Chinese-Filipino businessman living in a beautiful home in one of Manila's upscale neighborhoods. He had worked hard all his life, built a thriving business, and earned the respect of everyone around him. He trusted the people who worked for him, especially his driver and security guard who had been with him for years. But on one ordinary night, that trust would cost him everything. This is the true story of how a wealthy businessman was brutally murdered inside his own home by the very person he trusted the most, his own driver. It is a chilling reminder that sometimes the people closest to us can be the most dangerous. The victim was a well known businessman in his late 50s. He had built a successful import export company and lived comfortably with his family. He was known for being generous and kind to his employees. Among them was his driver, a man in his early 30s who had worked for him for over 5 years. The driver was treated like family. He was given a good salary, free meals, and even helped with the family's daily needs. No one ever suspected that this trusted employee was secretly planning something terrible. On that fateful night, the businessman was alone in his house. His wife and children were out of town visiting relatives. The driver knew this and saw it as the perfect opportunity. What happened next was cold, calculated, and extremely brutal. The driver entered the house, armed with a knife and a piece of rope. He attacked the businessman while he was resting in his bedroom. The struggle was violent and terrifying. The businessman fought back with everything he had, but he was overpowered. The driver strangled him with the rope and then stabbed him multiple times to make sure he was dead. After the murder, the driver ransacked the house, stealing cash, jewelry, expensive watches, and other valuables. He then tried to make it look like a robbery gone wrong by breaking windows and scattering things around the house. The next morning, when the businessman's family returned home, they found the horrifying scene. Their father and husband was lying dead in a pool of blood. The house had been turned upside down. The police were immediately called and an investigation began right away. At first, it looked like a simple robbery that had turned deadly, but as the police dug deeper, they noticed something strange. There were no signs of forced entry from the outside. The doors and windows showed no damage that would suggest an intruder had broken in. Suspicion quickly fell on the driver. He was the only person who had full access to the house and knew the family's schedule. When the police questioned him, his answers were inconsistent. He changed his story several times and could not explain where he was during the time of the murder. More importantly, some of the stolen items were later found in his possession. The evidence against him was becoming stronger by the hour. During a thorough search of his belongings, police found blood-stained clothes and the murder weapon hidden in his room. The driver finally broke down and confessed. He admitted that he had planned the murder for weeks. He was drowning in debt and had become jealous of his employer's wealth. He believed that killing the businessman and stealing his money was the only way out of his problems. What made the crime even more shocking was that the driver showed no remorse during his confession. He spoke coldly about how he had carried out the attack. The case went to trial quickly because the evidence was so strong. The courtroom was packed with family members, friends, and members of the Chinese-Filipino community who were devastated by the loss. The driver, was found guilty of murder and robbery. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. The family of the victim was relieved that justice had been served, but nothing could ever replace the husband and father they had lost. This case sent shockwaves through the Chinese-Filipino community and the entire country. It highlighted the dangers of trusting people too easily, even those who work closely with you every day. Many business owners began to review their security measures and became more cautious about who they allowed into their homes. The story also sparked conversations about the growing problem of crimes committed by people close to the victims, crimes of betrayal and greed. Even years later, this case continues to be remembered as a tragic example of how money and desperation can turn someone into a killer. The businessman had treated his driver like family, yet that same person took his life without hesitation. It is a painful reminder that we should always be careful and aware, no matter how well we think we know someone. The police investigation in this case was praised for its speed and thoroughness. They were able to solve the crime within days because of good detective work and the mistakes the killer made. It showed that even the most carefully planned crimes can be uncovered when the right people are on the job. Friends, this story is more than just a crime. It is a lesson about trust, greed, and the importance of staying vigilant. We should never let our guard down completely, even with the people we trust the most. Life can change in an instant, and we must always be prepared. If you found this powerful true crime story meaningful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more real Philippine true crime stories based on actual events. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, but please keep them respectful to the victim and his family. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Stay safe, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next story.